Hey folks, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Unmasked. Today we're gonna answer a question from one of our viewers that asked, "How do I afford my first property?" How do I afford my first property? So the person that reached out to me said, with a buy-to-let mortgage, the deposit is like 25%. How do I afford my first house if I have little to no money as I'm just starting out? And the answer to that is, well, there are a couple ways that you could do it with little to no money down. I don't recommend doing no money down deals. I've done them in the past and I've been burned on them in the past. So there are ways to do it. You can do it either by finding a property that is undervalued, getting a hard money loan from somebody that's going to allow you to do that. Hard money lenders don't typically lend you 100% unless it's a really good property, and then fix it up and refinance it. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to borrow from family and friends, season the money, which means leave it in the bank for 3 to 6 months, depending on what the bank likes, and then use their money to buy the property. It could be a number of ways that you could do that, where you're borrowing 100% of the cash and you're just seasoning it until the bank sees that, oh, it looks like you've had this for a while, and then you go ahead and buy the property. So those are ways you can do it little to no money down. So what I would say is, instead of doing that, go get a job. Go earn some money. Now, you want to learn about real estate, you want to buy real estate. I would recommend finding a job that is in the real estate industry. Jobs that you can do that from the ground floor, where you don't necessarily have to jump into a license per se, or that they will train you to get a license, would be maybe a broker, like a mortgage loan officer. Maybe you go work for a bank so you can learn how they lend the money. But I would say try to stick with the lenders, with the private lenders that lend out money. See if you can get a job with one of them. See if you can get a job at a real estate brokerage office or a real estate office. You don't have to be a realtor to work for them. You could be an assistant, or somebody who answers the phones for the real estate agents, although most often the agents answer the phones for themselves because they want those deals. But there are some offices where they have a ton of agents and they hire somebody to answer the phones, and then they pass out the referrals that come in. So you'll definitely learn about real estate that way too. You may also be able to work for an appraisal office, and you would also learn about real estate that way. You may actually get some leads working that way. You might also work for a real estate attorney. Those are different ways that you can gather some real estate knowledge, information about real estate, gain some money, and be able to practice it once you've got the information down. Real estate sounds really easy sometimes. It does. Buy a property, rent it out, collect the rent check. People make it sound really easy, but there are a lot of nuances that can make it a little bit more difficult, and that can ruin your life if you don't do it right. So save up some money. I don't know how old you are, if you're staying home with your family, or if you're living out on your own yet, but if you are staying home with your family, try to make an arrangement with your parents. Let them know that this is something you want to do, where maybe they will charge less for rent or nothing for rent, and save up as much as you can to put it into buying a property. And in so doing, you will probably be able to rack up the money much faster than expected. And don't rush into it. Study the market. Look to see what's out there, because when you do have your money, you will be able to see what all is available and should be able to determine what is a good deal. Anyway, that's my advice for you, and hope that sits well with you. If it doesn't, you can reach out to me again, and I'll give you more advice. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put it down in the comment section, or reach out to me at www.watchbobonyoutube.com. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.